Baby, we need to talk. My hands are shaking even as I say this, because I know once these words leave my chest, there's no taking them back. For so long, I've carried this secret like a chain around my soul, pretending I was strong enough to hold it, pretending silence would protect you, pretending distance would shield you from the truth that has been clawing at me every single night. But baby, I can't do it anymore. The secret is too heavy to carry alone, and if I don't tell you now, it will crush me completely. I've tried to bury it. God knows I've tried. I've drowned it in distractions, in late-night conversations that meant nothing, in smiles that were hollow, in nights staring at the ceiling, begging sleep to come so I wouldn't have to think about what I hid from you. But every time I close my eyes, I hear your voice, I see your face, and the truth beats against my ribs like it's demanding to be free. And baby, it's not just a secret, it's a confession, it's a wound, it's a shadow that's been living between us, even when I thought I was protecting you from it. The truth is, I wasn't honest, not about what I felt, not about what I feared, not about the demons I was fighting when I looked you in the eyes and swore I was fine. Baby, I was never fine. I was broken, and I was terrified that if you knew the depths of it, if you saw the whole of me, the scared, the ashamed, the restless, the weak, you'd leave. And so instead of opening my chest and handing you the messy truth, I put on masks. I carried shadows in silence. I chose to bleed in the dark rather than let you see where I was hurting. And now that choice haunts me, because the silence built walls and the walls pushed you away, and the distance turned into oceans. And still, you stayed longer than anyone else would have. You leaned in when I pulled away. You whispered hope when I was drowning in doubt. You loved me even when you could feel I wasn't giving you all of me. And that love, baby, it's the only thing that's kept me breathing. Do you know what kills me the most? That the very thing I thought would protect you, my silence, was the very thing that hurt you. Because while I thought I was sparing you from my storms, I was really letting you weather them alone. You carried the weight of my distance, my coldness, my absence, thinking it was your fault, thinking maybe you weren't enough. Baby, you were always enough. It was me. It was always me. The secret I've been carrying. It's that I wasn't just lost. I was scared of the love you gave me. Scared because it was too real, too pure, too powerful. Scared because it stripped away the lies I had built around myself to survive. Scared because every time you touched me, every time you looked into me, I felt exposed, like you could see the boy in me I spent years hiding behind walls. And instead of embracing that, I ran, not away from you, but from the version of me I didn't know how to face. But baby, I can't run anymore. This secret has turned into fire in my veins, and I know now that the only way to heal is to speak it, even if my voice shakes. I loved you. I still love you. I never stopped. And everything I did to distance myself, to silence myself, to push you away, it wasn't because I didn't care. It was because I cared so much that it terrified me. And I thought if I let you too close, you'd see just how unworthy I really was. You see, the world told me love was a game, that you had to win, that you had to control, that you had to hold power. But when you came into my life, you rewrote every rule. You didn't want to win against me. You wanted to win with me. You didn't want control. You wanted connection. And that scared me more than anything, because I had never been seen that clearly before. And instead of standing still and letting you love me, I sabotaged. I chose silence over confession, distance over presence, fear over faith. And now I sit here, whispering into this empty space, praying somehow these words reach you, praying you'll understand that I'm not hiding anymore. Baby, we need to talk, because if I don't, I'll lose the last chance I have to be real with you. And if being real costs me you, then at least I'll know I told you the truth, that I wasn't the man you thought I was. When I pushed you away, I was weaker, but I'm trying now. I'm fighting now. I'm opening now. You once told me love isn't about perfection. It's about honesty. And I failed you there. I gave you pieces of my heart while hiding the rest. I gave you promises with cracks in them. But today, I want to give you all of it. The broken, the bleeding, the healing, the whole. Because even if my voice trembles, even if my hands shake, even if my confession costs me everything, I need you to know the secret I've been carrying. I need you to know the weight wasn't you. It was me, and I can't hold it in anymore. Baby, will you listen? Will you let me pour out what I should have said long ago? Because my soul is begging for release, and the only way it finds peace is when it's speaking to you. You are my safe place, even after all this time, and I don't want to hide from you anymore. Send yes if your heart feels this truth. Baby, the hardest thing about carrying this secret is that it was never meant to be mine alone. It was ours from the beginning, because it lived in the spaces between us, in the pauses when I should have spoken, in the nights when you felt me drift, even though I swore I was right there. I thought silence would protect you, but in reality, it only made you question yourself, and that is something I will never forgive myself for. Because you deserved clarity. You deserved truth. You deserved a man who would rather shatter than let you drown in doubt. Do you remember those moments when you'd ask me if everything was okay, and I'd say yes too quickly? My eyes said no, my energy said no, my silence screamed no, but my lips still shaped the word yes. That was the secret in motion. That was me pretending to carry a weight I couldn't, and each time I lied, I felt a part of me fracture. I watched you reach for me in those moments, trying to hold on to something I wasn't brave enough to hand you. You must have felt it, baby. You must have sensed there was more underneath, because your soul was too wise not to. And I saw it in your eyes, the way you studied me, the way you tried to read between the cracks, the way you prayed that one day I'd just tell you the truth. The truth is, I was ashamed. Ashamed of my past, ashamed of my scars, ashamed of the broken pieces I carried like unburied ghosts. I thought if I kept them hidden, I could build a future with you that was clean, untainted, perfect. But all I really did was build a house on a foundation of silence. And silence is fragile. It collapses the moment storms hit. And when storms came, I froze instead of fighting. I let you face questions you never should have faced. I let you wonder if you were enough. And that silence has been my punishment every single day since. I never told you how much I feared losing you. Not in the way most people fear being abandoned, but in the way a drowning man fears losing his only breath of air. You were that breath. you were that light, and that terrified me, because it meant I had something to lose. Before you, I could pretend nothing mattered. Before you, I could hide behind masks and convince myself I didn't care. But with you, everything mattered. Every word, every glance, every silence. And instead of cherishing that, I let fear convince me I wasn't worthy. That's the weight I've been carrying, not just the secret of my silence, but the secret of my unworthiness. I never believed I deserved you. And baby, when a man believes he doesn't deserve the love he's been given, he starts sabotaging it without even realizing. I picked fights I didn't mean. I pulled away when I should have held closer. I shut down when all I wanted was to collapse into your arms and let you remind me I was safe. I built distance when all I craved was closeness. I hurt you when all I wanted was to love you. That is the truth I have carried like poison. But baby, carrying it alone hasn't set me free. It's only burned me from the inside out. I see you in my dreams, not as you were in the last days, but as you were in the beginning. Soft, hopeful, open. And in those dreams, you ask me again, what's wrong? And in those dreams, I finally answer. I tell you everything. I confess the fear, the shame, the lies I told myself about who I was. And every time you don't run, you don't leave. You hold me. And that dream is what keeps me alive, even as reality keeps me apart from you. Baby, I can't live in dreams anymore. I can't keep holding on to a fantasy of confession when the truth is begging to be spoken here and now. So here I am, saying it to you, with no mask, no shield, no excuse. I was a coward. I let fear speak louder than love. I let silence bury words that should have been spoken. And the secret I've carried all this time is that my love for you was never small, never unsure, never fading. It was overwhelming. It was terrifying. It was so much bigger than anything I had ever known, and I didn't know how to hold it without dropping it. You once told me, I just want you to be honest, even if it hurts. And I failed you in that. I thought sparing you from my shadows would protect your light, but the truth is, your light was strong enough to hold it, strong enough to heal it, strong enough to love me through it. I just never gave you the chance, and that is the regret I carry heavier than any other. Baby, we need to talk, because this weight doesn't belong in silence anymore. It belongs in the open, where love can finally breathe again. And if you still have space in your heart to hear me out, I promise I'll never let silence win again. Say, don't feel this truth, because sometimes healing begins with acknowledgement. Baby, I need you to understand something that I never had the courage to put into words before. Carrying this secret hasn't just been about protecting myself. It has been about protecting the fragile image I thought I had to hold in front of the world. I was so scared that if I let you see the whole of me, if I let you into the darkest corners, you'd see someone unworthy of the love you poured into me so freely. And that fear, that shame, that belief that I had to appear strong even when I was breaking, it turned me into my own enemy. I built walls to keep you out, and every brick I laid was made of silence. But baby, what I didn't realize until it was too late is that every wall I built was also a wall that trapped me inside with my own torment. And the only key that could have freed me was the one I refused to hand you, the truth. I've watched my own lies suffocate me. I've watched my silence turn into distance. And I've watched your heart fight to love me through the cracks without ever knowing why I kept pulling away. You thought it was you. You thought maybe your love wasn't enough. Maybe your presence wasn't strong enough. Maybe your soul wasn't what I wanted. But the truth, baby, is that it was always too much. In the most sacred way, you were more than enough, more than I had ever prayed for, more than I thought was possible for a man like me to receive. And that's why I hid, because I didn't think I could rise to meet what God had placed in front of me. Do you know what it feels like to have your prayers answered and then run from them because they scare you? That's what I did with you. I prayed for peace, and you showed up with a calmness that quieted storms inside me I thought would never end. I prayed for love, and you showed up with devotion that never wavered, even when I gave you every reason to walk away. I prayed for healing, and you showed up with patience that held my trembling hands when I couldn't hold myself. And instead of stepping into that miracle, I convinced myself I wasn't ready. I wasn't worthy. I wasn't enough. So I pushed you away, thinking I was sparing you, when really, I was just breaking both of us. The secret that is burned inside me isn't just that I was afraid. It's that I knew the truth all along. I knew you were the one. I knew no matter how much time passed, no matter who else tried to stand beside me, no one could replace the way my soul felt safe with you. And carrying that knowing while watching the distance grow between us has been the slowest form of torture I could have ever imagined. Because every time I tried to move on, every time I tried to bury your memory, life reminds me. Through dreams, through songs, through the smallest details, that I can't escape what is divinely written. And baby, you need to know this. There were nights when I would sit in silence, staring at the phone, desperate to call you, desperate to tell you everything, desperate to break down the walls I had built with my own fear. But I didn't, and you know why? Because I thought you deserved someone better, someone without the scars, without the shame, without the shadows that drag me into shadows. I thought letting you go was mercy, but it was really just cowardice dressed as sacrifice. And I've paid for it every single day. I see you in the quiet moments, not just in memory, but in the way my soul aches for the presence it once knew. Your laughter echoes in the walls of rooms you've never stepped into, because once you touch a man at the soul, he can't unhear that sound. Your voice, soft and steady, still plays in my mind when I wake up in the middle of the night, searching for comfort in a silence that feels heavier without you. And every time it happens, I realize all over again that this secret, the truth I've carried, was never meant to stay locked inside, because keeping it has only made the distance deeper and the longing sharper. You once asked me, do you even see me? Baby, I've never stopped seeing you. I saw you in every act of kindness, in every moment of patience, in every time you chose me, even when I didn't make it easy to be chosen. I saw you when you were tired, but still gave me your energy. I saw you when you were breaking, but still tried to hold me together. I saw you in ways I never told you because my pride, my shame, my fear, all of it made me quiet when I should have been loud about my love, and that silence has been my punishment. But I can't carry it anymore. That's why I'm here, breaking it open in front of you, because even if it costs me your forgiveness, I'd rather you know the truth than continue pretending. The secret is this: I have always loved you deeper than I knew how to admit. I never stopped. I never walked away because I wanted to. I walked away because I was scared I couldn't give you the man you deserved. And that fear, that weakness, that decision, it has haunted me every second since. I thought time would make it easier. I thought distance would dull the ache, but time has only sharpened it, and distance has only magnified it. Because the truth about soul ties is that you don't outrun them. They live in your blood, in your bones, in your breath. And baby, you are the one I carry in all three. So yes, we need to talk. We need to speak about the silence, about the weight, about the truth that has been buried too long. Because I can't move forward without putting this in your hands. I can't heal until you know. And maybe, just maybe, this time, the truth will set not only me free, but both of us. Meredith, if your heart feels this, because the first step toward healing is speaking the truth aloud, baby, there's something I never told you, and it's been eating at me for as long as I can remember. The secret wasn't just about my silence. It wasn't just about my fear. It was about the double life I lived between what I felt in my heart and what I showed with my actions. Because in my heart, I was already yours. I knew it in the way I breathed easier when you were near, in the way my chest unclenched when your voice found me in the middle of chaos, in the way even my restless spirit quieted just to hear you laugh. You were home to me. But in my actions, I let you believe I was undecided, distracted, unsure. That wasn't the truth, baby. The truth was that I was drowning in love for you, but I didn't know how to swim in it without feeling like I would lose myself completely. I spent my whole life being told to guard myself, to never let anyone in too deep, to keep parts of me hidden so no one could ever use them against me. And then you came, and suddenly every wall, every guard, every mask, it all felt pointless, because you could see through it anyway. It looked at me like you already knew the parts I was hiding, like you weren't afraid of them, like maybe you even loved me more because of them. And that terrified me, because I wasn't used to that kind of love. I wasn't used to being fully seen. I wasn't used to someone who didn't just want the good parts, but was willing to stay with the broken ones too. So I sabotaged. I let fear convince me that no one could love me like that and stay. I told myself you would leave eventually, so I tried to control when and how you left. I tried to soften the blow by pulling back first, by letting silence creep in, by creating distance so that if you walked away, it wouldn't hurt as much. But baby, all I really did was cut myself off from the only love that was ever real, and I punished you in the process. You deserved to be held close. You deserved to be fought for. You deserved to hear the truth every day, that I loved you so deeply it terrified me. Instead, you got half-truths and hesitation, and that is the weight that has broken me every day since. The secret that I carry isn't just about my past or my mistakes or my shame. It's about the way I betrayed myself by not choosing you fully when I had the chance. It's about the way I let fear drown out the sound of your love. It's about the way I let silence steal moments that should have been sacred confessions. I told myself I was protecting you, but really, I was just protecting the fragile boy inside me who thought he didn't deserve you. And that boy, he ruined everything. He made choices from fear instead of love. He made silence louder than truth. He made you question the very love that was supposed to be your safe place. Baby, I don't know how to forgive myself for that. I don't know if I ever will, but I need you to know this. Every night, I've replayed our story in my head, and every time, the ending changes. In my mind, I always choose differently. I always speak sooner. I always fight harder. I always grab your hand before you walk away. And I wake up with tears in my eyes because the truth is, I didn't. I failed you when it mattered most, and that failure has become the heaviest secret I've ever carried. But I can't carry it anymore. That's why I'm here now, laying it bare, stripping myself of every excuse. Because if there's even a chance that speaking this truth allows healing to begin, for you, for me, for whatever future still exists, then I'll risk it all. I'll risk rejection. I'll risk your silence. I'll risk you never looking at me the same again. Because the alternative, living in this half-life where you don't know how deeply you were loved, is unbearable. And baby, if you're listening, if these words are reaching you in any way, I need you to understand something sacred. Love like ours doesn't die. It doesn't vanish. It doesn't fade into nothing. It lives in memory, in energy, in spirit. It lingers in the way I still scan rooms hoping to see you. It hums in the way I still flinch when I hear your name, because my soul aches with longing. It aches in the way my chest tightens when I think about all the moments I let slip away. That's the truth I've carried. The love never left me. It only grew heavier in silence. So here I am, finally breaking the silence. Finally saying the words I should have said long ago. I loved you then. I love you still. And I will love you until my last breath. Not because I chose to, but because my soul never gave me a choice. You are written into me, and no matter how much I tried to bury it, the truth always rose back to the surface. Comment it if your heart knows what it is to carry a love that never left. Baby, I've come to realize something that has been sitting heavy in my chest for years, and I can't keep it locked away anymore. The secret isn't just that I failed you with silence. It's that I was living a war inside myself that I never let you see. Every day I was torn between two voices, the one that told me I wasn't enough and the one that whispered you were my miracle. And I didn't know which one to trust, so I trusted neither. I froze, suspended in fear, and in that frozen place, I let the best thing that ever happened to me slip through my hands. You might never know the nights I sat in my car, parked in empty lots, gripping the steering wheel with tears streaming down my face, because I couldn't bring myself to dial your number. You might never know how many messages I wrote and deleted, how many times I whispered your name into the dark, as though the night itself could carry it to you. I kept telling myself tomorrow would be the day I told you everything. Tomorrow I'd lay my heart bare. Tomorrow I'd stop hiding. But tomorrow never came, because fear has a way of convincing you that another chance will always be waiting. And then one day, tomorrow turns into never. That's the prison I built for myself, not of bars or chains, but of missed moments. And baby, those missed moments are heavier than iron. They press down on me every single day. They remind me that silence can be louder than any scream. And when I see your face in my mind, when I remember the softness in your eyes, when I hear your voice telling me you believed in me, I feel the crushing weight of knowing I betrayed that belief with my absence. The truth I never told you is that I was scared you would see the parts of me I kept buried, the anger I never processed, the grief I never named, the failures I carried like curses. I thought if I showed you all of it, you'd walk away. I didn't understand then that you weren't asking me to be perfect. You weren't asking me to have it all figured out. You just wanted honesty. You just wanted presence. You just wanted me as I was. And I couldn't give you that because I didn't believe I was enough. So, instead of confessing my fears, I built distance. Instead of telling you my truth, I handed you silence. Instead of holding you tighter, I let you slip. And that is the secret I've been carrying. The knowledge that I broke something sacred, not because I didn't love you, but because I loved you so much it terrified me. I thought love meant control, but you showed me it meant surrender. And I wasn't ready to surrender then, but God, I wish I had been. Because now I live with the echo of every moment I should have surrendered and didn't. I want you to know something, baby. Even when I pulled away, I never stopped loving you. Even when I pretended I was fine without you, I was lying to myself more than to anyone else. Even when I kept quiet, my heart was screaming your name. The love didn't die. It grew. It grew in silence. It grew in shame. It grew in longing. And now it's so big, so heavy, that I can't carry it alone anymore. That's why I'm speaking now, because silence has done enough damage. You always told me the truth has power, that even painful truth heals more than comfortable lies. I didn't believe you then. I thought hiding my flaws was strength. But now I know you were right. Truth is the only way to love. And the truth is this: you were my home. You were the one place I felt like I could breathe without pretending. And I left. I walked out of my own home because I was too afraid of what it meant to finally belong somewhere. And that is the secret I have carried. I need you to hear me say it. I was wrong. I was wrong to let fear speak louder than love. I was wrong to let silence become our language. I was wrong to let distance convince you that you weren't enough. You were always more than enough. You were the gift, the miracle, the answered prayer I didn't know how to hold. And if I spend the rest of my life saying those words, it still won't be enough to undo the pain I caused you by keeping them locked inside for so long. Baby, I don't know if you'll ever forgive me. I don't know if there's still a place for me in your heart, but I need you to know the truth now, because I can't let this secret kill me in silence anymore. I can't let you believe that my distance meant indifference. It meant fear. It meant shame. It meant I didn't know how to accept the very love that was sent to save me. And if I could go back, if I could rewrite one thing, it would be this: I would have chosen to trust your love more than my fear. Eminent. If you've ever carried a truth so heavy, it broke you before it healed you. Baby, I've kept this locked inside for so long that even speaking it now feels like my chest is breaking open, but I know I have to keep going. The truth doesn't come out all at once. It spills slowly, piece by piece, like a flood pressing against a dam until the cracks give way. And I think that's what's happening to me right now. Every wall I built, every silence I hid behind, every excuse I leaned on, they're collapsing, and what's left is just me, raw, stripped, trembling, but finally honest. The secret I carried wasn't only about my fear of love. It was about the lies I told myself to justify walking away from something divine. I told myself you'd be better without me. I told myself I was sparing you from pain. I told myself love like ours couldn't last, that maybe it was too good to be true, that maybe it was just a season and not forever. And I clung to those lies because they made it easier to explain my silence, but deep down I knew I wasn't sparing you from anything. I was breaking you. I was breaking us, and I was breaking myself. There were moments, baby, when I almost told you everything. Like that night you held me when I couldn't sleep, and you whispered that you'd stay even if the world turned against me. I wanted to cry right there in your arms, to spill every secret, every fear, every shame, and beg you not to let go. But I bit my tongue, I swallowed the words, and instead of letting you see me, I let you hold a mask. That's the kind of regret that doesn't fade with time. It digs deeper, carving shame into your bones. Do you know what it feels like to replay conversations in your head years later and hear all the words you didn't say? That's what my life has become. I hear your questions, I hear your silences, I hear your hope, and then I hear my empty replies. And I wonder, over and over, how different things could have been if I had just opened my mouth and said, "Baby, I'm scared. Baby, I'm broken. Baby, I need you," but I didn't. And that's the burden that's been eating me alive. You once told me that love isn't supposed to be heavy, that real love makes the weight feel lighter because it's shared. I didn't understand that then. I thought carrying it alone was strength. I thought protecting you meant keeping you from my struggles. But now I see it so clearly. Love was never meant to be carried in silence. It was meant to be spoken, shared, breathed into existence. And I failed you there. I turned something sacred into something secret, and I let the weight crush what should have been free. And yet, baby, even in my silence, my love for you only grew. That's the part I can't explain. That's the secret I can't bury. Every day without you has only proven how much of me was tied to you. I tried to fill the space with noise, with people, with distractions, but nothing silences the echo of your presence. Nothing replaces the way my soul felt seen when you looked at me. Nothing erases the way you made even my darkest days feel like they had a little bit of light. I used to think secrets could protect people. Now I know they only poison what they touch. And this one, the weight of loving you in silence, it has poisoned me enough. That's why I need to speak it now, even if it's too late, even if the damage is irreversible. Because maybe, just maybe, there's healing in confession. Maybe the truth, even when it hurts, can still set something free. And if not us, then at least me, at least my soul, at least the part of me that has been crying out for release since the day I let you walk away without fighting. Baby, I need you to know that you were never the problem. The distance, the silence, the confusion, it wasn't you. It was me. It was always me. My fear, my shame, my silence. And if I could go back, if I could rewrite even a single day, I would fill it with words I never gave you. Words that said, "You're my miracle. You're my home. You're my truth. And I will never let you carry this love alone." But since I can't go back, all I can do is say it now, and hope somehow it reaches the part of you that still wonders if what we had was real. It was real. It was the realest thing I've ever known. And that's the heaviest part of this secret, that I let something that real slip into silence. Seaman, if you've ever lived with words that should have been spoken sooner, baby, the more I speak, the more I realize just how much I buried. It wasn't just one secret. It was 100 little silences stitched together until they became a wall between us. Every "I'm fine" when I wasn't. Every shrug when I wanted to cry. Every pause when I should have said, "I love you more than I know how to handle." All of it added up to this distance, this fracture, this unbearable weight I've carried like a shadow that never leaves. And I see now that every silence was a theft. I stole from you the chance to know me fully. I stole from myself the chance to be healed by your love. And I stole from us the chance to stand together without walls between us. The truth is, baby, I was scared of being exposed. You saw too much already. You looked at me and saw beyond the smiles, beyond the charm, beyond the stories I told to keep people at a safe distance. You looked into me and saw the boy who still flinched at shadows, who still carried wounds from places no one else even knew existed. And instead of trusting you with that truth, I hid. I thought hiding made me strong, but really it only proved how weak my faith was. Faith in myself, faith in love, faith in you. And yet, even in my silence, you never stopped giving. You gave me patience when I gave you confusion. You gave me loyalty when I gave you half answers. You gave me love in its purest form, without demands, without conditions, without needing me to be anything other than present. And I wasn't even present enough. Do you know how it feels to look back and realize you were given the kind of love people spend lifetimes searching for, and you treated it like it was fragile when it was stronger than anything else you'd ever known? That realization is my punishment, baby, and I live with it every day. I carried the secret because I didn't know how to tell you the truth, that I was drowning in fear, that I didn't believe I was worthy, that I loved you so deeply it made me feel powerless, and I was too proud to admit it. Pride was my curse. It kept me quiet when love was begging me to speak. It made me pretend I didn't need you when every part of me was aching for your presence. It made me act like I could let you go, when the truth is, I've never let go, not once, not for a single moment. You live in me still, in my memories, in my prayers, in the way my heart still stumbles at the thought of your name. And that's the heaviest part of this secret. It never went away. I thought love faded with time. I thought if I stayed silent long enough, the feelings would dissolve. But instead, they've only grown sharper, heavier, more relentless. And no matter how much I tried to bury them, they rose back up because real love doesn't die. It doesn't leave. It lingers. It waits. It burns in silence until the silence breaks. Do you know what haunts me most? It's not the arguments we had or the times I pulled away or even the ending. It's the small moments, The way you used to say my name like it meant something sacred. The way your laughter filled rooms that felt empty before you walked in. The way you reached for my hand without even looking, because you trusted I'd be there. And I wasn't there enough. I let go when I should have held on tighter, and I can't forgive myself for that. That's why I need to say it now, because the secret has done enough damage, and I don't want to live another day letting silence speak for me. Baby, I loved you then. I love you still. I never stopped. And if I have to spend the rest of my life proving it, not through promises, not through words, but through presence and devotion, then that's what I'll do. Because you deserve a man who won't hide behind silence anymore. You deserve a man who will stand up and say your name with reverence, with pride, with gratitude. Baby, we need to talk. Because this secret doesn't belong in the dark anymore. It belongs here in the open, in the space between us where love was always meant to live. And if all I can give you now is the truth, then let it be this. You were never the burden. You were the blessing. And the weight I've carried all this time has been the knowledge that I let fear speak louder than love. That ends here. That ends now, Karamen, if you've ever felt the weight of love unspoken. Because sometimes the heaviest words are the ones we never say. Baby, the longer I sit with this, the more I realize how much damage silence has done. I thought by keeping quiet I was protecting you, but the truth is silence became a weapon that cut us both. It carved doubts into your heart and guilt into mine. It turned moments that could have been sacred into regrets that echo even now. And I can't keep living like that. I can't keep pretending that silence was anything but fear disguised as strength. The secret I carry isn't just that I loved you more than I let on. It's that I betrayed that love by keeping it hidden. I see it so clearly now. Every time you looked at me with those eyes that searched for truth, I had a choice. I could either let you in fully, or I could close the door and leave you wondering. Too many times I chose the door, and every time I did, I could feel a piece of you break. You never said it outright, but I saw it in your eyes. The flicker of hurt when I shrugged off questions. The quiet disappointment when I changed the subject. The way your shoulders sank when I pulled away instead of pulling closer. You carried my silence like it was your failure, when really it was mine. And that's the weight I've never been able to put down. Do you remember how you used to tell me, I don't need perfect, I just need real? That sentence haunts me, because I had real right there inside me, burning me alive, and I chose to bury it instead of give it to you. I convinced myself you wanted someone stronger, someone surer, someone without all the cracks I carried, but you weren't asking for that. You were asking for me, exactly as I was, and I didn't trust that. I didn't trust you. I didn't trust love, and that lack of trust cost us everything. I've carried this secret like a scar beneath my skin, and no matter how much time has passed, it keeps reopening. I can't escape it. It's there in every silence I hear now. It's there in every night I lie awake wondering what could have been if I had just spoken sooner. It's there in every ache that rises when I see people holding hands, when I hear love songs, when I watch the world move forward while I'm stuck in the memory of the one person who made me feel alive. That's the truth, baby. You're still here with me. Not in body, not in presence, but in spirit. And I think that's what makes this secret so unbearable. Because how do you move on from someone who never left your soul? There are things I never told you, like how I used to pray for you even after we drifted apart. I prayed you'd be safe, that you'd find joy, that you'd be surrounded by people who saw you the way I failed to. I prayed that even if I couldn't be the one to hold you, someone would honor the softness, the strength, the grace you carried. And every time I prayed, the ache grew stronger, because I knew I should have been the one answering those prayers by being there. That's the cruelty of silence. It makes you watch from a distance what you should have been close enough to live. I need you to understand that this secret, the fear, the silence, the shame, it wasn't a reflection of your worth. It was a reflection of my wounds. I let my past dictate my future. I let the ghosts of failure whisper that no love could last, and I listened. I let the broken boy inside me convince me that you'd leave eventually, and I acted as if it had already happened. But you didn't leave. You stayed. You gave. You loved. And still, I let you carry the burden of my doubt. That's the truth that burns me now, that you gave everything, and I gave you silence in return. But I can't stay silent anymore. Baby, I need you to know the truth. I loved you then. I love you now. I never stopped. And the secret I've carried is that every day without you has been a reminder of the life I could have had if I had just been brave enough to trust your love. That's what weighs me down, that I let fear speak when love was standing right in front of me. And so I speak now, because silence has no place in love. Not anymore. You deserve to hear it. You deserve to know it. And even if it's too late, even if it changes nothing, at least you'll finally have the truth that should have been yours all along. Comment if you've ever felt the ache of words left unsaid. And so I speak now, because silence has no place in love. Not anymore. You deserve to hear it. You deserve to know it. And even if it's too late, even if it changes nothing, at least you'll finally have the truth that should have been yours all along. Comment if you've ever felt the ache of words left unsaid. Baby, do you know what the silence taught me? It taught me that unspoken love is still love, but it's love that withers instead of flourishes. It taught me that holding back doesn't protect anyone. It just starves the very connection that could have healed both hearts. Every day I kept this locked inside, I felt further from myself, because the truest part of me was the part that loved you, and to hide that, to bury it, was to bury my own soul. I realize now that all the strength I thought I was showing by staying quiet was actually weakness in disguise. You didn't need my perfection. You needed my honesty. You didn't need answers. You needed my presence. And I failed to give you both. But baby, I'm not hiding anymore. These words are proof that I'd rather stumble in truth than stand tall in silence. They're proof that even if the world never understands us, my heart does. And if these words are the only bridge I have left to you, then let them carry the full weight of everything I never said. You are my miracle. You still are. And I will never let silence steal that truth again. Baby, if there's one thing I've learned in all this time of carrying the weight of my silence, It's that secrets don't protect love, they poison it. Silence doesn't shield the heart, it starves it. And the truth, no matter how heavy, is always lighter when it's shared. That's why I've spoken everything now. That's why I've poured out the words I should have given you long ago. Because you deserve to know, without question, without hesitation, that I never stopped loving you. That the distance wasn't because of you, but because of my fear. That the silence wasn't indifference, but a battle inside me that I didn't know how to let you into. I realize now that love is not about holding back to look strong. Love is about handing over the most fragile parts of yourself and trusting that they'll be safe in someone else's hands. You offered me that safety, and I was too blind to believe it. But even in my blindness, even in my fear, your love never left me. It still burns, even now, as strong as the day I first looked at you and felt something awaken in me I had never known before. That's the secret I can't carry alone anymore. My love for you has been the constant, the truth, the anchor, even when I tried to run from it. Baby, I don't know what tomorrow holds. I don't know if you'll ever look at me again the way you once did. I don't know if there's room in your heart to forgive me, or if my words reach you too late. But I do know this. I will never let your name be spoken lightly again. I will never let silence steal my truth again. And I will never let another day pass without honoring what we had, what we are, and what we may still become, because you weren't just someone I loved. You were, and are, the sacred proof that love can save, even the most broken soul. If I could stand before you right now, I wouldn't beg, I wouldn't bargain. I'd simply tell you the truth. I choose you, not in secret, not in silence, not in hesitation, but boldly, out loud, in the full light of day. I choose you, even if it means standing alone with that choice. I choose you, even if forgiveness takes time. I choose you because you've always been the truth my soul couldn't escape. And baby, no matter what comes next, I will spend the rest of my life proving that love doesn't hide. Love doesn't run. Love speaks, fights, and endures. And my love for you has endured everything. So here I am, exposed, stripped of pride, stripped of excuses, standing in the only truth I have left. I loved you. I love you still, and I will love you always. That is the secret. That is the weight. That is the truth I can no longer carry alone. If you've listened this far, if your soul felt these words like they were written for you, let this moment be more than just a story. Let it be a confession that heals, a truth that sets you free, a reminder that even in silence, love never dies. Comment, I feel this, if these words touch something inside you. Comment, I forgive, if your heart believes in second chances. Or simply comment, truth, if you know that love is never wasted, even when silence tried to bury it. And if this message found you at the right time, remember, you are not alone. You are loved. You are cherished. And the truth of your heart deserves to be spoken out loud. This is not just a video. This is a sacred space. A space where healing begins, where truth breathes, where love speaks again. Like this if your heart needed it. Subscribe if your soul longs for more messages like this. Share it with someone who carries words unspoken, so they too may find the courage to set their truth free. Until we meet again, may love guide you, may truth protect you, and may the secrets you carry finally turn into the freedom of being fully seen.